And we are back. Welcome back to Euro 2024 qualifying. After a week where I incorrectly predicted both semi-finals for the Nations League, we have the return to usual qualifying action. And thanks comments for reminding me that I did get both semi-finals wrong this week. If you want to remind me how bad I am at predicting, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments how bad I am at predicting. What we have today for you is 12 games of Euro qualifying, so at least I have the opportunity to redeem myself from what has been a poor week. And we have the return, of course, of the brilliant Three Lions, who will be looking to secure qualification as soon as possible. Given the fact that there are 12 games to discuss today, I think it is best that we just get straight into it. And we start off with Group B, which starts off with Gibraltar taking on France. Statistically, the worst team in the group against the best team in the group, and I don't really think I need to say too much more than that. Gibraltar have lost their first two games very heavily without scoring. France have won their two games very heavily, scoring a lot of goals. So I am going to go for 5-0 to the French. Obviously, a lot of talk around Kylian Mbappe at the moment. I'm sure he'll just be looking to show off what he can do on the pitch this evening. The more tougher game in Group B to predict sees Greece taking on the Republic of Ireland as the Irish look to beat Gus Poyet's side. I think this is a tough one to call, I really do. I think the Greeks have played relatively well recently, but then I think the Irish have had a pretty decent run themselves. They're looking to secure qualification to a major tournament once again, but I have to look at the Greek side, look at some of their forward players, particularly the ones that have been playing in the Eredivisie and Pavlidis and a couple of their MLS forwards. And I just think they'll just have that little bit too much for the Republic of Ireland. I'm going to go 2-1 to the Greeks, but I think Ireland have a good chance of getting a result in this one. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Moving on to Group C then, and it is Malta against England. And quite frankly, if we do not win this game, then this evening's reactions video is going to be as violent as usual. But look, I know we don't have the Manchester City players available to us tonight. Shout out to Rodri for not only getting man of the match in the Champions League final, but turning up, playing for Spain in the Nations League semi-final and getting man of the match in that as well. So I would personally still like to see the Manchester City players playing tonight, even though this is a game that we should be winning regardless. I think we still will. I'm going to go 3-0 England. I don't think there should be any real issues in this one. And like I say, if there are issues, you'll hear my reaction tonight after the game. While that game is going on, we will have North Macedonia taking on Ukraine in the other game in our group. Again, I think this is a relatively tough one to call. Macedonia are a very, very hard team to beat at home, but Ukraine on paper are a much better side overall. So with all of that said, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw because I genuinely just think it will come down to who turns up on the night, and I think it could be very, very close between the two sides. Moving all the way down to Group D now, and we start with Latvia. Sorry, no, it is Group D. We start with Latvia taking on Turkey. Two sides that have varied form at the moment. Turkey have had a very good run over the last couple of years, but then given their usual underdog status, so have Latvia. So I think this is a tighter one to call than it may initially seem. The last time these two sides met in a situation like this, with Latvia being at home to Turkey, it was a 2-1 win to Turkey, so I'm just going to go for 2-1 Turkey once again. The other game in Group D sees Wales taking on Armenia. I think this would be a tougher one to call if the fixture was the other way around. However, I think with Wales being at home, with the form that some of their players are in at the moment, and with Armenia seemingly without Mkhitaryan, I don't know if he's actually retired because he has been playing for Inter Milan, but I've not seen him in the Armenian squad the last few fixtures. So I don't think Armenia are going to cause too many problems for the Welsh tonight. I'm going to go for 3-1 to Wales. Now we move on to the first of the two groups that have 3 games tonight, and that is starting with Group H, and we start with Finland taking on Slovenia. Again, I think this is more of a difficult one to call. Both sides are relatively good at the moment. Slovenia haven't lost a single game in their last 10, I believe, whereas Finland, again, their form has been relatively mixed. So I think this is a really tight one to call. I'm actually going to give it to Slovenia. I just think they're going to edge this one out. I believe Finland are the actual favourites for this one, but I just disagree on this one, and I think Slovenia will end up taking the win. Next up, it is Denmark taking on Northern Ireland. Again, another home nation looking to get themselves to a major tournament. However, I think they're coming up against what is probably, well, most definitely, in my opinion, the best side in this group. And as much as I would like to see Northern Ireland pull off a result, I can't see it happening tonight. I'm going to go for 2-0 to Denmark. I think they'll put up a fight. I just don't think it'll be enough come at the end of 90 minutes. Final game in Group H sees San Marino taking on Kazakhstan. And as we all inevitably wait for San Marino to get their big result, I don't think it's coming tonight. Kazakhstan are a team that are on good form at the moment, scoring goals for fun. And as we all know, San Marino's favourite pastime is conceding goals. So I'm going to go for Kazakhstan in this one with a 3-0 win. The final group of tonight is Group I, and that starts with Andorra taking on Switzerland. I would like to say Andorra have a chance in this one because, again, they're a side that tends to do very, very well at home. But the Swiss are always the dark horses of basically every major tournament because they have a deceptively good team and people tend to always overlook them. I don't think this is going to be too much of a problem for them tonight. I'm going to go for 3-1 to the Swiss in that one. Next up is Belarus taking on Israel. And again, I think Belarus definitely have a chance in this one, but you have to look at the way they've started their qualification tournament. They've not scored. They've conceded more than I think they probably would have liked. And Israel still have a relatively good team. So I think it's only fair for me to say that Israel will be taking this one. I'm going to go for 2-1. Could be a little bit closer, but it also could be a lot more in Israel's favour. Final game to discuss today then is going to be Kosovo taking on Romania. Romania, I believe, are the favourites for this one, but Kosovo just are the draw specialists. They've drawn all of their last 4 games, the majority of those 4 being 1-1 draws. Their first 2 games of qualifying so far have been 1-1 draws. So I am obviously going to go for a 1-1 draw, and it inevitably won't be because the moment I predict something that is probably the most likely thing to happen, it is always the thing that never happens. And that is going to be it for today. Thank you very much for watching. As always, we have had 12 games today. We're going to have 11 more games to discuss with you tomorrow. As always, like I say, let me know all your thoughts down in the comments. And if you haven't done so already, remember to like the video and subscribe. I will see you tomorrow morning.